Conor Benn by knockout inside 6 rounds.
I'm going with Eubank.
Ben, without a doubt.
Ben.
I go for Eubank points in a brutal fight.
Eubank.
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 Ben.
Eubank.
Ben, take the money, man. Easy money.
I ain't picking one.
I lean towards Chris Eubank.
I reckon it's going to be a draw.
Draw.
Ben.
Eubank. Ben.
Eubank.
Boxing is always the winner.
I'm getting splinters in my arse. I'm on the fence. Eubank.
Ben.
Who wins in the rematch, Eubank Jr or Ben?
Conor Benn learned from the first fight, and he wins off points on Saturday night.
So you don't think Beaumat's going to benefit Chris in any way?
I do think it'll benefit him,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean he can still stop. We can't keep Conor Benn up. But Conor Benn this time will use the experience that he gained with the first fight, and he'll pace the fight better, so he won't die in rounds 10, 11, and 12.
To me, the rematch has a drawish kind of feel.
Yeah.
I'm taking 15-1 odds on a draw.
Wow. So you think it's going to be a fight 3?
I think there'll be a third fight. Maybe not immediately, but I think eventually there will be. This has the feel to me of a trilogy.
Yes, we need to see a trilogy.
By the way, you know what happened in the rematch of their fathers?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
draw,
right? Yeah.
Draw.
Yeah. Well, you thinking outside the box? I like that.
Eubank's, he's a good fighter. Eubank's son, very, very good fighter. More better fighter than people give him credit for. And he's a workhorse. And it seems like I think he's getting better.
Eubank Jr. slightly faded from that first fight. All Conor Benn needs to do is tidy his game up a little bit and maybe just land a couple of more heavy shots like the one that hurt Eubank in the first fight. And this could be a totally different fight.
It's crazy how Conor Benn's career's gone, because he's a huge name, a huge draw, and a huge money fight now for anyone fighting him. Yet he hasn't won a British title. He hasn't fought or beat anyone of note.
Your thoughts on this Eubank Benn story?
The rematch, I think Conor Benn, I probably fancy Conor a little bit more because of what I think on Chris Eubank Jr. I think he's only 1 or 2 fights away from being done. We're going to get along the lines of the same fights as last time, whether it's as good and as competitive as last time. I think we're going to get the same type fight.
Does Conor have the technical ability to be able to make the impact on Chris Eubank?
I don't think Chris Eubank is as technically good and technically correct to counter Conor Benn's mistakes and exploit Conor Benn's mistakes.
Carl Frott questions the value of Chris Eubank, Conor Benn too. Sometimes the value is just what these guys are going to make. And I think we're all hearing the numbers. The numbers are crazy. So that's the value in it. Look, in an ideal world, it would have been one and done. In an ideal world. But the way that fight ended and the way it delivered, you're going to run that back. Like, how can you not run that back? Would it have been nice if there was one in between? And yeah, but then it would have maybe been too late. So I understand why they run it back. And look, ultimately, we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out November 15th, right? It might just be a fight of the year candidate again. So we'll see.
Are you in any way getting interested in it this time?
No. I've seen just as good a fights in Witherspoons. I think there's better things to be doing than watching Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank. I mean, the terminology unfinished business is the only thing that's unfinished about it. They didn't manage to rinse enough money out of people the first time round.
But if Ben wins this time around, you know what's happening. There we are for the trilogy.
You can choreograph another one so that we can all sit there and rinse some more money out of it.
But that's boxing.
I don't value it as a fight. I don't value the circus around it. I don't buy into the nostalgia crap. I don't. Chris Eubank has turned up. Well, I wasn't surprised he turned up. I wonder if he got paid to turn up. That would put a damper on everyone's nostalgia, wouldn't it?
Simon has never set a foot inside Wetherspoons, ever.
Yes, I have.
Says Mark. Well, they're not having you in Wetherspoons.
I looked through the window and I thought, oh, not for me.
Chris is the master of the narrative. Chris Eubank Jr. is going to be very missed when he leaves boxing. Whether he's talking bollocks or whatever he's saying, he sells the fight and he makes people engaged with what he's saying. And like whether he's saying Eddie's blocking ambulances like this in front of the ambulance, he's selling the fight. I mean, I think he went a bit too far there to accuse Frank and Eddie and Matchroom to do that. But look, what happened wasn't good. We saw the video, it wasn't good, and that shouldn't happen in any case, because that can be, let's say, life-threatening. It can be. So let's hope that doesn't happen ever again. But look, let's look forward to a great fight between two warriors.
Definitely. Who? If I could push you for a prediction.
Conor, straight away. I'll always back Conor. I believe Conor will win the fight inside the distance. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of Conor. He's going in there. There's again the narrative that Eubank's not going to be at his best because of the weight. Eubank's made 160 his whole career. He's just not allowed to rehydrate to cruiserweight because he's fighting a welterweight. Like Conor's really a 140. So really, he's coming up to. You look at the size of Conor. Conor's not a big guy. He is not a big guy. He's fighting a massive Chris Eubank. So really, the props needs to go to Conor for going up all that weight to give the fans that night of entertainment. It's Conor Conor's putting himself at big risk. He's a much smaller man in there. You only got, I'm not talking bollocks, put them side by side. You see Chris Eubank Jr. is much bigger than him. There's weight categories for a reason, but Conor showed in that last fight unbelievable grit and balls to stick in there, even to the end. Because you looked at the last round, he boxed pure instinct. But listen, they're two great fighters. Both got good chins, both tough. You're gonna see round 13.
I think it will be clinical this time. You know, I don't think we'll see the back and forth of the first fight. There was a lot of things in the first fight where, you know, Chris was at a disadvantage going into the ring. I feel like he would have learned from that experience the last time out, made the changes. You know, he's got a great team around him. I've seen how they work up close for the Liam Smith rematch, and I really feel like he's going to go in there and dominate this time. And I think, you know, I said that last time. I think this time he's, you know, I know his preparations are spot on, and I look forward to him going in there and causing some damage.
We in shape to go 15 rounds. I never go and say we're gonna stop him. It's just like you, low level 4-rounder. But at this level, you can't just say, oh, he gonna stop him. If it's stoppage come, he definitely in shape to stop.
There better be something different, because if not, it's gonna be the same outcome.
Hi! We're gonna get that win. We're definitely gonna get that win. We already done won. We get our hand raised and going about our business.
Conor Benn can knock him out. Conor Benn can knock him out in the rematch. Oh yeah. Couple things he gotta do though. You know, boxing one-on-one, man, when you're fighting a taller guy, you never want to step back in straight lines. You want to exit the sides. He stepped back in straight lines. He allowed Eubank to extend with those long arms, so he's getting caught on the end of his shots a lot of the times. Another thing, early on, got too reckless. You got to be more reserved, my man. Act like you've been there before. You got to control those emotions. All right? A lot of swinging, a lot of wild swinging, a lot of energy wasted early that you could have had on the back end, and you could have finished stronger. But you didn't. You waste a lot of energy swinging that air. Mad, intense. Hey, controlled aggression. That's what it got to be, Conor Benn. Control. Another thing. Straight punches. Straighten your shots out, man. You had a lot of success when you was letting those punches just fly right from the chin, 1-2, right down the middle. Yeah, you was landing that right hand. See, there's a big mistake that a taller guy makes, like Eubank Jr. And what he does is he throws a jab from mid-range. That's a big no-no. You can't be doing that. He throws a jab from mid-range. Even when he got the range and the height and the reach, he's still stepping in, closing the gap. And that's the perfect opportunity for Conor Benn to load up with a big right hand. He did it occasionally. He caught him with it. Yes, you know, he caught him with it. However, a lot of wide shots over the top.
Up now at 160, he just looks thicker. You know, he's got, you know, his waist looks bigger, his legs look bigger, his trunk looks bigger. And I was just really impressed with, I mean, I've got to say, not met many people in boxing that work as hard as Conor Benn. Phenomenal athlete, incredible work ethic, but just a smartness about his work and a maturity about his work. And I've always felt that he can beat Eubank, but I left that gym feeling really, really confident that he beats Eubank. And listen, Eubank was surprised in that first fight. There was no doubt about it. He got the shock of his life, and he will be working very hard with Bomac and the team. And I expect a better Chris Eubank. But Conor was poor last time. He knows that. Tony knows that. Like, he can be so much better than that. And I really believe he's going to get this performance right. I really believe he's going to win the fight. You know, back to what I think will be round 13 of one of the best fights we've seen over many decades. And this time I believe we're going to get the victory. One of the reasons we took the fight, Andy, was 2 bites of the cherry. We've been massively inactive, and he was moving up to fight, you know, a middleweight, and we just felt that over the 2 fights we would get it right. And this next fight, you thought that first fight was a war. You wait till you see this one, and like that fight, I think would have taken a huge part of Eubank's soul, and he's going to be expected to go back to the same trenches that he went to last time, maybe this time deeper. And he's a brave guy, like he's got plenty of heart, and it will be a fantastic fight. The one, I believe this time, Conor Benn will be victorious.
That wraps up today's video. Let me know what you think about everything we covered by dropping your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed the content.